The fact that it's a 2-shot blows my mind. See how it glitches sometimes? That's 4 mil. $5.2. 5.2. Okay. 5.5 million DPS.
Oh my god.
That's the target agent. Target spotted, Sheriff. Target neutralized. Good work.
My arm is shot.
Cleaning up the streets one bad guy at a time.
I'm throwing an EMP!
What is going on, guys? Veritas here, and the rifle build you guys have been waiting for is finally done. So let's get right to it and talk about the gear. First off, I want to make a kind of disclaimer. This build is not based upon rifles. Okay, we're saying it's a marksman rifle build. This SVD paratrooper is not a rifle. The difference between rifles and marksman rifles is that marksman rifles do headshot damage. So as you can see right here, the paratrooper SVD has 138% headshot damage. The difference between rifles is that they do crit damage. This is very important for this build because crit damage is not important for us. We're not using any crit. Our crit chance is very low. So as you can see, this LVOAC rifle crit damage. So what you're looking for is the surplus SVD, paratrooper SVD, and there's also an MK20 that's like the MK17 but a marksman rifle variant. You're going to notice that the base damage on these is a lot higher than your rifles. So I have this one up to 70,000, but I get 138% headshot damage. So the ability to stack headshot damage is insane. That's how you saw those numbers in the 700Ks on elites with a semi-automatic rifle. The other reason that I chose to use these is because they have no recoil. You can spam them semi-auto at 260 RPM with 0 recoil on a target. So it's very, very good. The talent I choose is Ranger. It's flat weapon damage at no cost. Just the further you are away, the more weapon damage you get, so you lose nothing by having this on. I also like Accurate. It makes the reticle smaller faster, which makes your aiming easier for those headshots. Now, this new weapon, the Nemesis, is key to this build. It's not must have, but it does improve the DPS significantly. So one of the talents of this new weapon is its holstered talent called Preparation. And what it does is it gives you 25% headshot damage when you have a scope equipped on your other weapon. So we're using the scope, we get 25% flat weapon damage. And just to show you that, I can go under stats, and my headshot damage is 251%, which is insane. Secondly, what we want to talk about is the exotic itself, because we do use this for boss damage. As you can see, I hit 3.3 million on bosses. It's very good for that high damage single shot burst boss killer. So if we look here, the talents, shots fired deal anywhere from 0 to 100. So when you saw that reticle charge up, when it fully charges, that's when you get 100% of the weapon damage that's rolled. And as you can see, mine's at 414,000, which is really, really high. The perk Nemesis, aiming at enemies marks them as your nemesis for 15 seconds, letting you see them through walls, is excellent as this bonus 50% damage. So as that counter ticks down, your damage increases by 5% each second. So it's essentially 50% increased damage. But the bread and butter is the Paratrooper SVD. This is what we're using 90% of the time. This melts all adds, including bosses. And if we need to do those one-shot damage, we can go to the Nemesis if we want. But really, the only reason we're using this is for the 25% extra headshot damage. Let's get to the gear. On my mask, it's the same mask I use for almost all my builds. It came with 43% damage to elites, plus 15% damage to elites. Cannot beat this max stat. For my chest piece, I use Alp Summit Armament. Now this is pretty much cooldown reduction. It's kind of useless for this build in terms of overall DPS, but I do like the crit chance. The 10% flat weapon damage is amazing, plus hard hitting, 15% flat damage, and I have some offensive mods on here. As you can see, 3% marksman damage with 1% weapon damage. Now I just want to make it clear this build is not using that exploit where you can put weapon mods in utility and defensive slots. This is just a standard build. You do not have to farm mods on a lower level character or exploit that in any way. You can achieve this DPS in-game fine, and they will not patch this build. This is perfect, so you don't have to worry about those mods or anything like that. On my harness, I have precise 15% headshot damage, and I'm running the 3-piece of Araldi Holdings, so this is one of those pieces. I also have an offensive mod on there for 2 and 2 weapon and headshot damage. On the backpack, it's the second piece of Araldi Holding, 7.5% weapon damage and damage to elites. So as you can see, we're stacking the same things: weapon damage, damage to elites, and marksman rifle damage. On the gloves, 9% marksman rifle damage, again precise for 15% headshot damage, and this is the third and final piece. So what I would recommend doing if you're farming for this exact set to copy the damage that I'm doing, I would run for sure a 3-piece Araldi Holding in these 3 slots. These are the 3 slots that you have to run that in. I recommend it. These are kind of flex spots: the mask, chest, and knee pads. So you're just looking for weapon damage and damage to elites, but it can be any gear set that you need. Lastly, we have the knee pads, which I get 10% rifle damage. Now you would think, this is good, but really, in all honesty, this does nothing for our build. 10% rifle damage does not affect marksman rifles, so it is kind of useless. But I do like the 6% crit hit chance, and again, 15% damage to elites. And as you can see, again, another offensive for 2.5% weapon damage and 1% headshot damage. Guys, you cannot beat this build. The ability to do 5 million damage per second on targets, 700,000 damage for headshots on elites with a semi-auto rifle. I have yet to see a build like this on YouTube. I recommend copying it. I don't care. Farm the gear. Get this build for when the raid comes out. This thing is going to be a hard-hitting must-have. So what I'm going to do now that I showed you all the gear, is I'm going to play going through a stronghold on challenging. Enjoy the footage. I just want to show you that this can also be good for solo and group play. I'm also going to show some clips of this in the dark zone. As you can see, this build also 2-taps people in the dark zone. So this SVD, believe it or not, semi-auto can 2-shot in the dark zone, and I'll show you that in the clips as well. So I hope you enjoy. Good luck farming for this gear, guys. Get this gear, get this build. It is amazing, and I'll catch you later. Take care.
You are no longer in a group.
Two shots to kill.
Nice. You got him? Only one?
Serious trouble.
Killed another one.
detected.
It's a big building, so be prepared to secure both concourses.
Don't let the division through.
Once you clear the exterior, keep clearing out Black Tusk.
System malfunctioning.
Get him in a pincer! Shit, they're close! Got
Vital
a fresh
signs
mag.
critical.
I guess I'll shoot him again! On the way! I need another angle.
Whatever's causing this interference, shut it down.
Here we go. UAV.
Can't see anything.
I'm seeing activity in the mall, but I can't.
Engaging the enemy! Hey, up! Drone is coming to you!
The uplink has been disconnected. Good work.
Engaging hostiles. Anything. Target eliminated.
That guy could work. Drone going out.
Hostiles neutralized. The arena's back under our control. Good work.